Patreon people, it is I, Professor Moptop. Welcome to yet another week of our weekly update. I hope everyone's enjoying their spring. I hope everyone's enjoying their Easter season. I hope everyone's enjoying their today. Since spring is a time of renewal, I'm going to send you 3 hunks of audio about a Beatles song all about murder. The song is Maxwell's Silver Hammer, and you're each going to get 3 hunks of audio all about this. It's a really interesting song. It's really one of those polarizing songs that people either seem to love or just don't like. I'm a big fan of it. I always have been, ever since I first heard it. John and Yoko and Paul were having a conversation in late 1968 about consequences and how immediate consequences can turn up into your world. And Paul wrote Maxwell's Silver Hammer about how just when you think life is going great, down comes the big old proverbial hammer to, kill you. And John and Yoko came up with Instant Karma over the song, probably from the same conversation. Paul wanted a deceptive sounding song that would kind of sound sort of fun and be a little bit enjoyable on the surface, but the more you read and the more you listen to, the darker and stranger it becomes. Correct. Max kills a bunch of people in the song. They tried it a little bit during the Let It Be sessions. You'll hear a little bit of audio about that. Paul didn't quite have the words quite yet. Now, he always had characters in his songs. He had Eleanor Rigby, he had Lady Madonna, many others. There's Lovely Rita Metermaid, and we could go on. I can't think of any right now, but trust me, there's a lot of McCartney characters in his songs. Lady Madonna is another one that I'm thinking of, but Max is the first murderer that he has. Maxwell studies pataphysical science, which is the art of creative science, and it was invented by French theater absurdist. That's right, a French theater absurdist. I don't know what that is. You can hear about that when you listen to the Moptop audio. Max is a cold-blooded serial killer wrapped up in a happy-sounding song. This is how McCartney wanted it. Now, the other Beatles weren't especially thrilled with this. They thought it was kind of silly, but they also knew that it was probably going to be their last album together, so they played nice. That, of course, would be George and Ringo. They were playing nice and cooperating. In July, after a car crash and a short hospital stint, John and Yoko returned to the studio, and Yoko was pregnant at the time. Sadly, this was a baby that she lost before she can give birth to it, and she had to be confined to bed rests, doctor's orders. So instead of her staying at home in a bed, they brought a huge bed into the studio of Abbey Road, and wherever John was, they would push the bed. And John was a little bit difficult during the Maxwell Silver Hammer sessions. He didn't want to contribute when they were doing the background vocals. Paul asked him if he wanted to join in, and John said, no, that's okay. He called it Paul's granny music. Again, that's not a compliment. So George, Ringo, and Paul did the background vocals, and they also had another cool overdub. As you can see in the Let It Be movie, assistant Mal Evans was trying to create the sound of the bang bang or the clang clang by hitting a anvil with the hammer. And as you can also see in the film, Mal Evans didn't have the best of rhythm, and he had a little bit of trouble getting the bang bang at the right time. Now, in July, when they actually recorded this song, this is July 1969, Mal Evans was hired to go out and get a big, heavy hammer and a blacksmith's anvil for Ringo. Ringo was going to do it because he's the drummer and he's the guy with the rhythm. Well, this big hammer was so heavy, Ringo wasn't quite able to get the clang clang right either. So Mal Evans got another chance to do it, and eventually he did. He was able to properly clang clang the hammer of the Bang Bang Maxwell Silver Hammer. There's a couple of other cool little overdubs on the song. There's an acoustic guitar played by George. George and Paul also added dueling lead guitars on it, so it's a cool electric sound there too. And there's also the, depending on you pronounce it, Moog or Moog synthesizer, which is a brand new keyboard toy that George had. It's on a few songs, and they weren't sure how to use it. They didn't want to overuse it, so they use it just a little bit. You can hear that on Maxwell's Silver Hammer. Now, like I said, they were trying to play nice because it was their final album, and Paul, George, and Ringo were playing very nice. John was being a little bit difficult throughout the sessions for Maxwell Silver Hammer. Frequently around this time, if John wasn't interested in what was being recorded, he just wouldn't take part. That is all I have to say on Maxwell Silverhammer. Thank you as always for being wonderful Patreon people. I will be sending the audio out in a moment, and I think you're all going to enjoy it, and I cannot possibly forget to say that at one point in time, Max the cat was a very important part of the Alexander household. He lived there for a very, very long time, and when I say he lived there, I should say that it was his house, and he allowed my family to live there. Thank you so much, as always. I'm Professor Moptop.